Good evening. This is the National Weather Service in Burlington, Vermont, and we are here to give you guys a quick overview of what we're seeing with Hurricane Henri, which is currently over the western Atlantic and poised to make landfall tomorrow. So we're going to give you a quick rundown of what we've been keeping our eyes on and what to expect as far as impacts go for the North Country here. So this is the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, and I do advise you all to keep on top of the National Hurricane Center's webpage. It's www.nhc.noaa.gov, and we have the link down at the bottom of this website, but they have the most up-to-date information on the track of the hurricane. Right now, as of 8 p.m. on Saturday, here's what the National Hurricane Center has for Hurricane Henri. It's about 230 miles south of the southern New England coast, and it is poised to make landfall over southern New England by Sunday afternoon. So tomorrow afternoon is when they're looking at as far as landfall. And as far as impacts go, this far north into Vermont and northern New York, the main impacts we're looking at are going to be heavy rainfall at times, and there will be some breezy winds, but nothing overly concerning at this point. So here's one model, and keep in mind this is just one model, but this is an example of what we're thinking may happen. As you can see, tomorrow morning, the hurricane makes landfall during midday hours over southern New England somewhere, and then it slowly moves to the northwest, which is kind of an odd track, but that's the track that we're looking at for this hurricane. And then it weakens as it goes into land, and if you look at Vermont, we're looking at just some showers mainly from this on Sunday, and maybe even a lull in precipitation Sunday night for a lot of our area. And then as we go into the day on Monday, that's when we're looking at the steadiest precipitation for Vermont and northern New York. And that'll be as the remnants of the hurricane. It'll still be weakening at that point, but as the remnants of the hurricane kind of drift off to the east. So this is kind of one idea of what we're looking at here. It goes playing from the beginning again. Again, this is just one model, but at this point we're starting to get a pretty good idea. So if we play it again, you can see during the day Sunday we're pretty much dry. A few showers with the outer bands coming through on the northern side of the storm, coming through our forecast area for Sunday during the afternoon, but I think most of the area remains dry, honestly, during the evening tomorrow. And then as we go into Sunday night, like I said, here we are, a little bit more rainfall for southern Vermont, but I think northern parts of the forecast area will stay dry probably during the night. And then as the storm drifts east, again, the more steady precipitation develops, especially over southern Vermont into central Vermont. And that's when we would see kind of the main impacts for our forecast area. And of course, the storm will be weakening by this point, so it'll just be the remnants of what was once Hurricane Henri. But that's kind of how we think it's going to play out. As far as storm total rainfall goes, here's what we're looking at right now. Current forecast has about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall for portions of central Vermont and southern Vermont, as well as portions of the northern Adirondacks, including Essex County in New York. And the highest rainfall amounts are expected pretty much along the spine of the Green Mountains over southern Vermont. I think they're going to be the winners in terms of rainfall amounts, and those areas could see locally up to 3 inches. And one area that we are keeping our eyes on, maybe going to receive a little bit less rainfall, but we are keeping our eyes on central Vermont, kind of more Addison County, Orange County, Washington County area. This area has seen quite a bit of rainfall over the last few days, so the soil is a little more saturated, which means they're a little bit more prone to flash flooding in those areas, so that's something else we'll be keeping an eye on. So just because they're expecting a little less rainfall in central Vermont, still going to keep a close eye on their flash flooding potential. But here's what we're looking at as far as storm total rainfall. We're not expecting widespread river flooding, but I think some of the smaller rivers, streams, any of the flashier basins could reach bank full, and we could see a little bit of flash flooding, so definitely be aware of that. But as far as widespread flooding, river flooding at this point, we aren't seeing that unless the forecast changes. There is also there are some winds associated with the storm as it does track into our area. Again, it will be losing a lot of its steam as it goes into Vermont and northern New York, but we're looking at winds generally with gusts only up to about 20 miles per hour for much of the area is what our current forecast has. The only exception is southern and central Vermont, especially along the Greens and just to the west of the Greens, where I think they could see winds generally between 30 and 40 miles per hour as top gusts. This is the tropical storm force wind speeds probability graphic issued from the National Hurricane Center. So this is basically the probability of winds greater than 39 miles per hour. And you can see the probabilities for southern Vermont are anywhere between like 30 and 50. So definitely can't rule out some 40 mile per hour gusts in that area, but the gusts will definitely decrease as you go further north, and northern Vermont into northern New York probably stay under 20 miles per hour. That's all we have for you. Please stay safe and please stay on top of your local forecast. This is just what we're seeing right now, but with a hurricane, conditions can always change, so please stay on top of the forecast. And for more information, check out our webpage, which is linked here, and also please stay up to date with the latest forecasts from the National Hurricane Center. Thank you. Bye.